was not raised in church. We went occasionally with my nanny. I was baptized when I was 8 because I went to the classes, and that's what we did. Fast forward, married Jeremy, had kids of our own. We wanted to raise them in church, and we started going to a church, and in 2006, we lost my nephew. He was 5 months old, and I hit rock bottom after that. I was broken to pieces, and we're going to fast forward because I can't keep going there. We were in a church. We thought our church family, they're human, and there were things that happened that really made us feel like they weren't our family, like they weren't who they thought we were, or who we thought they should be. And we were broken. Our family was broken. I was broken. And I was angry at God. It took us a long time to put the pieces back together. We didn't feel like we could rely on a church family at that time. We went several years, just us, trying to put our pieces back together. And slowly but surely, you get to that point where you can put one foot in front of the other. And I had a personal relationship with God. I had to. I didn't have any other option at that point in my heart. I had, there was no place to go but up. And we started putting those pieces back together as a family. And we had reached the point where I had quit my job because we realized that every moment of your life counts, every day, and the difference that you can make in somebody's life counts. And so I decided to go back to school and become a teacher. And that was a long process. We won't go into all that, but I started being guided, and my daughter had formed some friendships, and now there's some people that are just so precious to us. They're working nursery today. They're not here, but they invited us to come to church with them, and we did. We had that need in our hearts to reconnect with the church family. And we started coming to the Edge service about 4 years ago. And just the path that God guided me on, through that brokenness, through putting the pieces back together, through not feeling like we could rely on anybody, and then opening ourselves, taking down those walls, and being able to trust again. And we began coming to church. I went into school, started teaching. My first year was 4 years ago, and that was when we started church here. My first class of kids, I teach kindergarten, like I said, they're 5 years old, and that was the age my nephew would have been. And God placed a little girl in my class that was born she was in our other church. She was born the week after he was. And that just kind of really was a confirmation to me that God had guided me on this path, that would have happened. But now I'm just so grateful because I can call this church my family. And there are so many people. There are so many people in this room that I know that I can count on. And I know that I can trust. And it is so amazing to look around and to see these families who have trusted me with their kids at school, and I get to stand here every Sunday and pray with them and worship with them and sing with them. And it just makes me, a kindergarten term, it makes my heart so happy that I get to see them here and I get to see them at school, and that they're part of my family. And, it may be, this is kind of a silly analogy, but, some of you may be like my close brothers and sisters in my family, and some of you may be distant cousins that I don't really know that well yet. But, over time, I know that we'll have time for our paths to cross, but it's just amazing how God can work in your life and bring about that change and that revival in your heart. And, when I became part of this church family, I never imagined in a million years that I would be someone that would go on a mission trip. And last year I went to Guatemala, and I'm going back again this summer, and I'm taking my family with me, and it's just been life-changing for me. This family in this room has been a godsend. And I just pray. I have some other members in my family that they believe. They were, my brother, he was raised the same as I was, but and I know that he has a relationship with God, but I don't know that he knows the joy of having a family like this, having a church family. And so I continue to pray for revival in his life, and for many others. The children that I see at school every day, I pray over them every day that no matter what their situation, no matter what they're facing at home, that they can have that revival in their life, and that they can have that joy and that peace that comes from knowing that you have a family that is there for you.